Salam Media.
9:55 exactly, with 5 minutes to wrap up time. We're going to be talking about a very big subject. We really do need more time for something like this. But that being said, Paula Hildebrand, he's a member of the South African Association of Social Workers. She is in private practice. We're talking about how to prepare your children to deal with failure. It is that time of the year. Some of them might not have had great pass rates at school. So what do we say to them? How do we talk to them to build up their self-esteem? Paula, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Judy, thank you so much for having me join you today. And I just wish all the best for the new year to all our listeners today.
Thank you, and the very same to you.
Judy, this is the most wonderful conversation to be having at the start of the new year. Our children are so challenged with needing to be successful, needing to perform and meet expectations of their parents, of their peers. And I'm seeing almost on pandemic proportions how children live with anxiety and fear of failure. And I love the fact that you are having these brave conversations where as parents and as a community, we can support our children to be more robust, to have more coping skills and resilience, to face these concerns of life.
Paula, if we don't have these important conversations with them, we could be scarring or damaging our children for life. I mean, they could go on to become dropouts, drug addicts, whatever else, all the most awful things that you can think about. So how do we start those conversations? And I know you're probably going to say to me, age appropriate, but what are the type of conversations we should be having with them?
Well, I think the starting point, Julie, I mean, you're quite right. There's an age-appropriate space. How do we talk to the language the child can understand? But the starting point is really to create an environment of learning. So that means, and I mean, I know it's so much part of our South African culture, to have a strong family bond, to have loving, caring, supportive relationships that allow learning and making mistakes acceptable and normal, to normalize the ups and downs. And then the other thing is our faith, believing in a loving, caring God. I know most listeners are Muslim, I'm Christian, but that sense of a God that loves and supports you is so central as a beginning base point. And then obviously our the kind of people we bring into our children's lives, the community that we expose them to creates a baseline. And from that, we start the conversations. And the conversations are really about, it's okay to make mistakes. Every mistake is a step in learning. So it's a learning culture. It's an understanding that they have the ability to deal with things and give them that self-esteem. And it starts off by doing little things, teaching children to be more independent, to make decisions, to do tasks, learn new things, expose them to things. And I know our COVID environment has made our family life maybe a little bit more intense, which is great. But it also means it reduces some of the learnings they might have had if they had more freedom to move around as they would have in the past. And I find that children are more anxious. They're more aware that they're going to mess up socially or academically. I think the online learning or trying to learn without ready access to the teachers has created a lot of fear and anxiety. And to speak into that, the message from the families is always, we believe you can do this. And then you tie it to certain actions and characteristics the children have. It's not just a broad comment that you make. You can say, you can do this because I've seen how hard you try. And I've seen how you apply yourself, or you're actually good at doing sums, or you read that page so well today, or I can't believe you tied your shoelaces, or you're drying the dishes better and better. I can just see you growing up and learning how to do things better. So, a lot of it is when they do mess up, how do we speak to them then? And I think a lot of it is to ask them how they can fix the problem. Shall we just pick up the broken glass pieces? How do we fix this? Or how do we fix the argument that went wrong or a failed test? Ask them what they need to do to fix this, and then support them in that. I think I'm riveting on here, Julie. I'm sorry.
No, I'm loving your response. Absolutely. I'm glued to what you're saying. I'm also thinking, Paula, we as parents and other support structures within the home environment. We'll do all of these great things to boost our children's self-esteem and morale. But once they hit the schoolyard, that's where the problem starts, doesn't it? Because then they get teased, then they get bullied, then they start possibly all the hard work that you did at home might just kind of dissipate in those few minutes that they're exposed to these bullies or unkind friends, and possibly
Mm,
even a teacher that's not too sensitive and clued up about these issues.
mm. Absolutely. You know, I think the school ground has become a very emotionally painful space for our children. It can even be a physically painful place for the children because bullying is not only just words, but there's a lot of social bullying that goes on. And the internal pain that the children feel is quite extreme. A lot of it is being able to get your children to talk through it with you so that you can actually help find coping skills. And the kind of coping skills I would encourage a child to do is to understand that they are worth more than what people say. So if there's bad company, to withdraw or tell on, depending on the age, or in some case, push back. And I'm not suggesting get into a fisticuff fight, although there's times when that's very successful, I don't want to say, but, but
Yes,
I think,
yes.
you know, just holding your ground physically. If you step towards your bully and you don't pull away from the bully, you change a power structure. But I don't believe in, you know, engaging in a conflict with as many children against one child. I think a situation like that needs to be brought to light to the school so that they understand some of those dynamics. And the child can also be taught to play in parts of the playground that has less bullies in or more supervision from the teachers or playmates that are more supportive. And I think there is a place where children need to learn from a young age to surround themselves with good people, to choose friends that they feel are honorable and have good belief system, and actually create their own posse, if I can say it like that, their own goodness group, which is also, you know, so important. And the children want to be close to the bullies because that seems where the action is, where the cool stuff's happening. But if the audience starts realizing the falsehood of that, the whole dynamic changes on the playground. When they realize that there's not a lot of people that actually enjoy that process and that they have more people on their side than against them.
Okay, my final question then to you is, we all want the best for our children. We all, as parents, support them and want them to be champions in every area of their lives. How do we try and get a strong enough message across to them that we want them to be the best that they can be, but at the same time not to crack under the pressure if they don't live up to our expectations?
Judy, that's such a hard one because I think the family system actually defines success. So I think that's quite a difficult thing. I would like to encourage the family success to be effort, not achieving an A or a position on a team, but how much effort was put in the training, in the life skills, in the preparation. So to define the success to the children of, I saw what you put in. You ran an exceptional race. One guy was a little bit faster than you, fine, but we saw what you did. And to actually redefine what success looks like is incredibly empowering for a child. I think there is a sense where children almost feel in today's world that things should come easier than they should. Life is not easy. It's got ups and downs. And to teach children to lose with dignity and not a tantrum is very valuable. But a lot of that is in how we approach them. And I think success in this country is not necessarily the child that comes first in the class, but the child that takes whatever they've got and runs the furthest with it, that goes with integrity and with an eye for community, because that's what's the strength of South Africa. If they can build to build others and to bring good and to add value, and it's not necessarily the person that wins the race, it actually does those really honorable things, and to help define what success is based on our own value system is very empowering for the children, and to celebrate that, to have a real family acknowledgement of what you've seen as successful. You didn't pass, but we saw you did this and this and this better. And we actually see that there's place to improve there. You failed because you weren't feeling well on the day. You could do better next time. Redefining the failure in a forward-looking perspective also empowers them to go on to future successes. And success is only based on a string of failures behind you. You have to have those failures to build the strength and self-identity and confidence. So how we deal with that learning curve of failures with us will make them successful.
And that's where we leave it. Thank you indeed for your insights. Lovely talking to you. Till the next time, all the very best for 2022. Oh, goodness me, 2022.
I know, Judy, I can't believe it, but all the very best to you, and keep having these conversations. Really honor you for those opportunities. But thanks for the time today, Julie.
My pleasure entirely. Go well. And that brings us to the end of the show, our first show here for 2022, the 3rd of January. Shukran very much to my producer, Nasreen Naidu. Thank you to you, our esteemed listeners, for taking the time out in keeping us company. Till tomorrow morning at the same time, as always, observe COVID protocols, take care on the roads, and it is Assalamu alaikum and Khudafiz from me, Julie Ali.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries.